You've likely experienced the sensation. You finish a perfectly normal, brief conversation with someone, and within minutes, you feel completely wiped out. This isn't the physical tiredness you feel after a long walk. It's a specific mental weight that persists even when your body is at rest. The brain processes persistent negativity and conflict as literal psychological threats. Managing this requires a massive spike in cognitive load. Remaining engaged keeps these warning signals active, creating a constant mental drain that eventually leaves you running on empty. That heavy fatigue is the physical evidence of your brain spending its limited energy reserves, trying to navigate a high-pressure social environment. The drain occurs because of a specific mechanism that allows external emotional pressure to bypass your psychological defenses and enter your mind. This defense is your emotional boundary, a psychological filter that determines which external inputs you allow yourself to internalize. When that filter is weak, the mind enters a state of emotional permeability. It passively absorbs nearby stress and anxiety. But when the boundary tightens, the filter becomes functional again, blocking excessive emotional pressure while still allowing necessary information through. Without this filter, empathy becomes a liability. It forces your nervous system to react to someone else's crisis with the same intensity as if it were your own. The fatigue you feel afterward is the direct result of your brain allocating its finite energy to process a workload that doesn't actually belong to you. This explains why the feeling persists long after the interaction is over. Even when you're alone, the weight remains. You might feel mentally tethered to the other person's problems, experiencing a lingering heaviness that makes it difficult to focus on your own life. Sleep or quiet time often fail to fix this immediately because the brain is actively trying to resolve the emotional data it absorbed. This often leads to a cycle of guilt, where we blame ourselves for feeling drained by the people we care about. But this heaviness isn't a character flaw. It is simply your nervous system struggling to shed an emotional environment that you have no power to change. This brings us to the core of the issue, what it actually means when someone drains you. In many cases, this isn't about the other person being toxic, it's a capacity deficit. As this model shows, they are outputting a high volume of emotional data, and your system isn't currently equipped to store it. The exhaustion is an indicator of a mismatch between their output and your current psychological limits. By solidifying those limits, you stop the overflow. You can still care about others without feeling obligated to absorb their entire emotional state. Your exhaustion is an objective sign that your system has reached its limit and needs to reset. Setting boundaries is a practical requirement for maintaining your mental health. It is the method the brain uses to protect its finite energy reserves. When you feel exhausted, your body is providing a clear signal that it's time to step back and reinforce those walls. Understanding these signals is the first step toward better emotional management. Subscribe for more insights into human behavior and the psychology of our everyday.